to Furqan program from Ahlebait TV. I wish all enjoy this program. Of course, this program is for the teaching of the recitation of the Holy Quran. Inshallah, I want you to accompany me during this period. Of course, many of you, you were my really friends or my fixed dear reciters, because many of you came to the program, and also I want you to be with me during this period. Of course, we are right now about to study four other letters, especially letter ta, dha, and also after that ain and ghain. But before that, I will read and recite some verses of the Holy Quran, and I want you to accompany me. I will recite the first verses of the Surah Al-Mu'minun, and it is page number 342. And ayah number 1. I want you to accompany me and open your Quran, because also we are really about 25 to 30 minutes to Azan, and this is really the very spiritual time, and I want you to accompany me to recite together these verses of the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Mu'minun, ayah number 1, page number 342. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قد أفلح المؤمنون. الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون. والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون. والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون. إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين. فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون. والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون. والذين هم على صلواتهم يحافظون. أولئك هم الوارثون. الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم الشريف. Thank you very much, dear viewers, for your attention, and inshallah we are going to start the lesson of today. That's about the Arabic alphabet. Of course, we have arrived to the letter Ta, Dha, and Ain and Ghain. Of course, we finished with the letter Sad and Dad, and inshallah today we will start with the lesson of Ta, Dha, and Ain and Ghain. As you see, dear viewers, in the screen of our program, that is starting today with the letters, especially two letters, letter Ta, Dha, and also letter Ain, Ghain. Of course, I wrote the letter Ta, Dha in the right side, dear viewers, as you see, and especially you have to consider the movement for this letter. 1 movement, 2, 3, and 4 movement we use for the letter Ta, and at the same time we have 4 movement for the letter Dha. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course we have to add 1 dot, that is for the letter Dha. And then in the next hand we have the letter Ain and Ghain. How to write letter Ain: 1, 2, 3 movement and 4 movement together. And also for the letter ghain, of course we have one dot. The difference between letter ain and ghain in the form, just it is this dot. And of course in point of articulation we have different point of articulation, and inshallah about the point of articulation we will speak. So let's go to the letter ta, starting with the always with the our baseline. And of course always you have to pay attention to write your letters according to the baseline. So for the letter ta, dear viewers, we have 4 movement. Number 1 is starting from here, that is the baseline, and then we have this movement that is 30-degree. We have 1, and then this one is a little bigger or wider, and then we have, it's like letter sad we have in the baseline until here, and then we have to write as alif to join exactly with the starting point. So we have here the viewers 4 movement for the letter ta, and that is 4 movement. And examples for the letter ta, of course we have here the examples. Okay, dear viewers, of course inshallah you will find examples for the letter ta, dha, and also ain and ghain. And also you have to know, we will say to you the 3 position, I mean at the beginning, in the middle, and also at the end, because each letter, dear viewers, they have 3 forms in 3 part of the words, because we use at the beginning, and we use in the middle, and also we use at the end, as we are going to example for the letter ta in first position. The first position is exactly like this, and then here we join the letter after it. For example, when we have the word of, that is ta, and then we go here, and then here, that is the word of tahir, and then that is the ra. That is the example for the word tahir. So we join the letter ta exactly, the joint is this part, so we join to the alif after it. That is the exact part of joint. So we have 1 movement, 2, 3, and the alif, it's like the alif form, and also here we have the original alif, so it is tahir, tahir. So we have ta at the beginning. So the form of ta in general and also at the beginning is the same, because we join the letter after it. Could be alif, could be any letter we join. So that is for the letter ta at the beginning. And then we go, dear viewers, for the letter ta or dha. At the same time, inshallah, at the end of the teaching of ta or dha, I will give you more examples for this letter. So let's go to the letter ta in the middle, or letter dha in the middle. When we have to say in the middle, of course we have some letters joining with the letter ta, but of course there are letters, example alif, waw, ra, zai, dal, dhal, they don't join with the letter ta, so they are separate. If ta comes in the middle with those letters, it is separate. But some letters, like for example ba, ta, tha, they are joining with the letter ta. In this case we have this joining part, and then we are writing the joint of letter ta, and always don't forget to write the alif of ta. So this is the joint, dear viewers, this is the joint between ta and the letter before it. Could be, for example, I will write the example of nadara, noon, and then you do a little bit bigger, and then start with the, that is for the letter dha, noon, nadara, nadara. So just we have the joint here, dear viewers. We have the joint exactly in this place, and here is the joint. So here is the joint, and here is the joint. Always we have to use this joint for the letter. So that is nadara. So that is in the middle. And of course we have some other examples that letter ta is in the middle, but it's not joined with the letter before it. I will write to you. For example, dear viewers, we are using letter fa. Always you have to use letter fa like this, not exactly the middle, and then we have to use letter fa. Farata. Farata, we have letter fa and then ra, and then we have ta. And also we have farattu, the same example, join with the letter ta. Farattu. In this case, dear viewers, we have letter ta in the middle, but of course, as it is in the middle, but we don't have any joint here, because of the letter ra. And letter ra, letter zai, letter alif, waw, dal, dal, in this type of letters, we don't join with the letter after it, as we have here ta. So in this case, as ta is in the middle, but we don't have any joint here. That is an example of farattu. But of course, also you can find, dear viewers, here ta with the letter ta. We have joint of ta with the letter of after it. So that is exactly, this part is the joint of ta with the letter after it. So that is the form of ta in the middle. And if we have letter ta at the end, how is the form of the letter ta? And always you have to pay attention, the baseline should be straight, right, and example of the ta at the end could be like as we mentioned for the letter before it, and then ta could be at the end like this, but not too much the space, could be until here. So that is for the letter ta, just until here, dear viewers. At the end, or could be separate like this, because if we have one letter like waw, dal, dal, ra, zai before it. So example of the letter ta at the end in the word of nimat, noon, mim, and then we have ta. Dear viewers, we have nimat. In this case, we have letter mim and this joint with the letter ta, and ta is at the end. So the joint is just this spot. That is nimat. Nimat, that is just the joint, dear viewers. So that's for the letter ta, dear viewers. Could be for the letter dha, because the form is exactly the same form, but the only problem is the dot we use for the letter dha. And of course, about the point of articulation, we will explain, because we have to pay attention many qualities for this letter to differentiate the letter dha from the letter ta. And now, of course, dear viewers, meanwhile, I can say if you have any question about these letters, and if you want to ask questions and you have problems, so of course you can call to the program, and I want our colleagues to show you the telephone number, to put the number on the screen if you have any questions, so you can call to the because our program is live, so you can call. And meanwhile, I have to thank our colleagues, because they are doing their best to prepare for you the good program like this, because they arrange this whiteboard for you and this technique to be as a good program for our dear viewers, especially you, dear learners. So we go right now to the letter ain, dear viewers, and then ghain. And of course, we have finished with the letter ta. Ta at the beginning, in the middle. If we have in the middle, of course, we have the joint here in the middle, dear viewers. That is the joint. Could be any letter, but except letter waw, dal, dhal, ra, zai, and alif, because those letters doesn't join with the letter after itself. So we go for the letter Ain and Ghain. So you have to consider, dear viewers, the baseline. And then Ain. As you see, dear viewers, letter Ain, of course, we have in this type as one movement, 2, 3, and then 4. And also in some textbook or some type of the font of Quran, you will see like one movement, that's one circle. In some type is like this, one circle, that is half circle, and then the big circle could be like this, dear viewers. So in this case also you can write like this, that is really simple, one movement and then two movement, that is 1, 2. But this half circle, a small circle, that is bigger. Also it's correct, but the correct form that is like this, you have to start from here, about 1/3 of alif. Here, from here you start one movement and then go in this angle, and this you come here and then you do like this movement. I will write the movement and then you go for the circle. So in this case the movement is, dear viewer, 1 and then 2, and then here we have a movement to come to the baseline, and then from baseline we do the final movement. That is for the letter Ain. In this case, of course, that is the correct way, 1, 2, and a half circle like this, and then we do another circle. So that is for the letter Ain, could be for the letter Ghain. The only difference in the form, that is the dot we use for the letter Ghain. So in this form, and let's say what is letter Ain, what is the form of letter Ain in the beginning. And I'm going to write for you, dear viewers, that is the letter Ain, one movement, 2, and then you have to reach it to the baseline, and then here is the head or the Ain in the beginning. In this case, you 1, 2, here 3, and then here 4. You see, dear viewers, you have to always, that's a good idea, dear viewers, you have to design this form in your mind, that letter Ain has 1, 2, 3, 4 movement, and then it will be easy for you when you learn. Of course, this type of program is really suitable for, dear viewers, in any category, in any level you are, especially for the beginners. If you are really, of course, many of you, you're born here in UK, and maybe you don't have good books to use well from the design of the letters, how to write it. Because if you write the letter without any specific form, and it couldn't be a good way and a good method for learning Quran. So try your best to start like this form, because it will be fixed in your mind, and inshallah in the future also you will have good knowledge of Quran, good handwriting, and that is could be a very good motivation for you to write Quran one day, inshallah. Of course, as we mentioned all the time, that is the khattat or the writer, that is Uthman Taha, is the best font right now in the world. So it could be you yourself. So we have Ain in this form, dear viewers, and that is in the beginning. And the example is like ilm. So we have 1, 2, and then reach it to the baseline, and then this is the connect. So we go to the lam, and then we come to the letter mim. That is the word ilm. So 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. That's this part is the joint with the letter lam. That is the joint, dear viewers. You have to pay attention in this part, because we are saying Ain in the or at the beginning. Also we go right now Ain in the middle. So Ain could be or Ghain, both of them in the at the beginning is in this form. And I'm going to write also letter Ain or Ghain again in the beginning with the example for the letter Ghain. So I'm writing the first part of the letter Ghain, and then it is Ghafir, letter Fa, and then letter Ra. Dear viewers, of course you can find this part. Always another thing you have to do is always the dots should be the same part. For example, this should be the same line for the dots. So Ghafir, also we have this movement 1, 2, 3 and 4, and joint place is here with the letter Alif. Ghafir, that is example of a Ghain. And then we go to the letter Ghain in the middle. Dear viewers, in many texts there are two types for the letter Ain in the middle, and of course I want you to consider both of them and to learn both of them. So of course the letter before Ain could be any letter except Waw, Dal, Dal, Ra, Zai and Alif. So in here then we have this from one movement, two movement, and again you come to the middle and then join it. How is this movement? This movement is, dear viewers, when you come here, from here you go in this 30-degree from here, and then from here you go again towards the parallel to the baseline, and then from here you come to the baseline. That is 3 movements. So I do 1, 2 and 3, and then you have come to the base. You have to reach yourself to the base. So right now we have the Ain with 3 movement. That is the Muthallas, that is the triangle. 1 triangle you have to do. 1, 2, 3. That is triangle you have to design. What is the example? For example, we have the word of Muallim. That is Mim. Mim. Right now, and then we go for one part of triangle, and then the middle part of triangle, and then we join it here. And then when we come to the middle, we join to the Lam, and then from Lam we join to the letter Mim. That is Muallim. So this is this part 1. So it's come 1 and then 2 and then 3 in 3 position and in general form. So as I mentioned the example of Muallim, so you will see inshallah how is the form of Ain in the middle. Of course we mentioned for the letter Ain in the beginning, and right now we are going to complete the form of Ain in the middle. Inshallah we'll write many examples about this case. So dear viewers, as you see in the whiteboard, letter Ain has 3 movement in the middle of the words, as you see in the word of Muallim. So here in this case we have the joint just here from the exactly baseline, and then we go to this part 30 degrees and then parallel to the baseline, and then we come back to the baseline. And also in another form, dear viewers, you can do like a triangle, but the head of triangle should be on the baseline. In this case we have the letter Ain and Ghain in the middle. I will write another examples for the letter Ain or Ghain in the middle, as we used many examples in Surah Al-Fatiha. Maghdubi, we have letter Mim, and then we have this, and then we have the letter Ghain. Then we have the letter Ta, and then we have, in this case, we have to do like this, dear viewers. So it shouldn't be like letter Ha. And then we have Waw, and then we have letter But don't forget to do like a very short part here, that it is letter dot connected to the letter wow. So exactly, you have to pay attention here. So we have this movement through the baseline, and then we have 1, 2, 3. This is the baseline. We don't count this, and we count 1, 2, 3. That is for the letter maghdubi, and we have to put also the dot here, maghdubi, and this dot maghdubi. So we have letter ghain in the middle. And right now, dear viewers, if we finish with the letter ain and ghain in the middle, we will go for the letter ain at the end. Again, I say, dear viewers, if we have the letter ain or ghain joined with the letter before it, that's okay, it has one form. And if we have letter waw, dal, dal, ra, zai, and alif, so it should be like this with the general form. For example, we have the word of wida, dal, alif, and then we have ain, wida. We have ain as general, the same ain, that is wida. So it is as it should be, wida, that is ain at the end. And if we have, for example, letter ba, letter ta, and join with the letter ain, it shouldn't be like this form. It is in another form, and also in some texts we use like this form. So I will use the letter ain at the end, but joined with the another letters. In this case, we have the letter joined with the letter ain like this, and then we have also like this form in some texts. You see, dear viewers, that's ain. Shouldn't make confuse with the letter ha and ha. And also in some texts we have like the head of ain. In this case, both of them they are using, but usually we have to use this type. And how we have to use this type? Join it here, and then you have to do like this, the letter ain at the end. So that is the joint, and then you have the movement. That is for the letter ain at the end. Also, we are writing like this, and both of them are correct. So examples in this case, I'm writing in here the letter ain at the end. That's for the letter ain at the end, and then examples are here, and I will write an example over here. For example, when we say lam, and then we have letter ain. Also we have like this ain, bala or bala, the ba, and then we have ain in this case. Always you have to consider it's not like the ain in the middle, it's a little shorter, shorter, and it's not as the ain we used in the middle. So, and also we write bala like this. Also we use like, in this case we joined the ain here, and also here we have the joint, and then we have, in this case it's like ain, that's مثلث but smaller than that one, and then we have the ayn at the end. Could be for ghayn, both of them the same form, dear viewers. Bala or bal, both of them the same meaning and in different forms. So that's for the letter ayn and ghayn in this case, dear viewers. And of course, inshallah, I will write some examples about both of them because today is especially for this type of letters, letter ta, dha, ayn and ghayn. For example, we are writing ta and ghayn together in the word of طغيان. 1, 2, and then we go to the ghayn in this type. Then we have like this, and ghayn, نقطة, and then noon. Noon also we have in this form, and I will let you know in about letter noon when we are reaching to the letter noon. So it is طغيان, we have letter ta, and always it is alif. Consider to write it from here to the baseline, and then that is 1, 2, 3. There's 3 movements, and then we come back to the baseline, and then we have, so both of them ta and ghayn, both forms of the ta at the beginning and ayn in the middle, or ghayn in the middle, طغيان. And also another example, for example, ظلم for the letter dha. Examples: 1, 2, 3, and then lam, and then mim. That is the alif. Should be exactly the spot. ظلم. So we have the letter dha, dear viewers. 1, 2, 3, and this is the joint of the letter dha, ظلم. So also you have to consider this movement. So we have letter dha at the beginning, and also I'm writing to write mazloom, that we have letter dha in the middle. Then we have letter mim, madloom. So we have letter dha in the middle. 1, 2, 3, and this is the joint. It's for the word of madloom, and the letter dha in the middle. So dear viewers, you have letter dha and ta in the first position, second position, and also I will write another example here exactly with the letter ta and za at the end. For example, as I mentioned again, that is alif, so sirata or sirata alladhina, that is for the sad, and also ta, the same movement and the same form we have for the letter ta at the end. So here also I will write for the sad, and here for ta. Okay, so it's for the letter sad and dad. So dear viewers, today we studied 2 type of letters, type of ta and dha, as they are in the same form, and then ayn and ghayn. Of course, if you have any question, dear viewers, you can call to the program, Furqan program, and you can send email to our email address. Inshallah, we are at your service. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you very much and Khuda Hafiz.